What's that? Salsa merengue. Okay, cool. I'd say select one and then do that one. But yes, maybe I'm taking salsa class with my girlfriend. Maybe I'll see you there. Cool. Let's do one more. Yeah. Cool. Write and play more music is a general thing. You want to make it specific. Like, in other words, you want to get a demo done. Cool. So I'd make a specific goal, a specific amount of concerts, either a tour, a record. You make it specific so you can check it off a list. But helicopter lessons is great. What's that? There we go. Yeah, so how about just one show this year? A show before the end of the year. Cool? All right, invite me. If you're good. Oh, shit, I owe you $1 for that. I'll get you afterward. You guys should have caught me. Okay, here's what I want you to do. Team up with your accountability buddy. Tell him your goal. And what you want to do is make a date, especially if you have a calendar like a BlackBerry. Tell them your goal, and in 6 months, I want you to check in on your buddy. I put it in my BlackBerry when I have one, or in my organizer. In 6 months, I want you to send them an email and say, have you taken whatever your thing is yet? Have you been to New Zealand? Have you taken helicopter lessons? Have you started salsa classes? Have you been meditating regularly? So team up with your accountability buddy and tell them your goal, give them your email addresses, and make sure you remind them in 6 months. Put them in your calendar. If somebody doesn't have a goal, just ask yourself, what do I want to do? Don't make your goal, like I talked to one guy, said his goal was graduating college, not to pick on you, but of course you're going to graduate college. You're set up to do that. So we decided it was going to Germany. After college, before you get a job, you're going to go to Germany. So have your friend hold you to that. He was saying he wanted to take acting. I said, why not improv? He's like, well, because I can't be funny. He realized right away then it's time to do improv and be funny. Especially humor is going to get you a long way. Look at all of Ebbets newsletters and stuff. Awesome. So let's move on because we're only up to S. S is strength. The girl I'm dating now, she used to date UFC fighters and shit. She dated really big guys, and another guy was an American Gladiators guy. Their pecs are bigger than my head. And a lot of when I did the Jenna Jameson book, a lot of porn stars, they like to be around really big, beefy, muscle-bound guys. What's that? That's a compliment if his pecs are bigger than my head. To his pecs. No, now I owe him $1. The first thing I asked when I did interview Jenna Jameson is I kind of got down to her core value, finding out what she's really about and what she really wants. What she wants is to feel safe. So strength is the ability to make a woman feel safe. It doesn't mean that you have to, have the biggest muscles. She has to feel safe and protected and not worried when she walks with you. And it's not, and there are a lot of ways this is conveyed, and it's a lot of things that David talks about all the time. Not being wussy, being decisive. One thing I learned in this community is always have an opinion. If they say iceberg and romaine, definitely romaine. Maybe you don't even care, but have a decision all the time. And strength is not having a decision, then sticking to it no matter what. That can be a form of insecurity. Real strength is having a decision, explaining your decision, but in the face of evidence to the contrary, not being willing to say, okay, that may be a good point as well. So there's a certain sort of flexibility in strength. Strength is not just trying to always prove you're the best. A guy named Juggler taught me had a very good, smart piece of advice. Especially when we learn this stuff, we're learning how to be conversational. And he said the person who holds the most power at a table is not the person who's talking the most. It's the person who everyone's talking for, the person who everyone's talking to impress. And that could be the most silent person at the table. So don't go with a cartoon, alpha male, definition of strength. Strength is just really being your own person, not bending your opinion and who you are to please other people. It's assertiveness, it's taking charge, it's living in your own reality. It's the ability to make her feel safe, like we said. It's also having moral strength and values of your own, whether they be good or bad. So, and it's loyalty, proving that you're showing that your loyalty to your friends and your loyalty to her. So, and you're constantly with a woman, you're constantly going to be tested for your ability to make her feel safe. Most of those things they call shit tests, a lot of them are her testing you to see if you're a real man and you can back shit up. So I'm going to give you a few, a little strength checklist. One is, like we said, being decisive. Don't ask her what she wants to do. Have your own preferences. It doesn't mean always drag her along and not listen to her, but be decisive. Don't ask her what she wants. Okay, so anyway, we get the point there. Don't change your opinion on something you believe in order to please her or get rapport. As soon as you cave and change a belief you've already stated to get rapport, you've kind of lost rapport. And like we said, if she persuades you logically that there's another point of view, then that's fine. Being strength is not being afraid to admit when you're wrong. Also, knowing your environment. I think that's why it's important to have a local hangout, a bar, a club, a cafe, a store, somewhere we go to all the time. So when you take her there on the first date, you're taking her into your world. I remember I was on like Playboy Radio once, and the guys that were trying to hit on the Playboy models there, and they said, well, what are you doing this weekend? Is it okay if we come along? They were trying to glom onto her fun. They should have a world and reality that seems everyone feels like they're missing out on something. Someone else is out there having more fun. You want to be the guy who's out there having more fun, who has a more exciting reality for her to step into. So know your world, know your environment, know what to do. Next thing is being an effective communicator. You know, when you're able to get that seat at the restaurant when it's full, when you're getting free desserts from waitresses, when taxi drivers, when people respond to you in your presence, that's strength. She sees that. Having rules about what you'll accept and what you won't accept for other people. And if something's unacceptable, let it be unacceptable. Don't allow, bad behavior around you if it's bad. Know what your rules are and define them. Another way to convey strength is through storytelling. If there's stories in your life where you protected someone, or you made them feel safe, or you stood up for someone, or you showed loyalty to a friend, having some nice stories to tell can convey that. Taking charge in situations where you're with a group and people are indecisive, they don't know what's going on. Taking charge, say, I'll tell you what, we're going here. It's the best thing to do tonight. So taking charge when people are indecisive. Not tolerating bad behavior. It's amazing that women learn to be very, very manipulative because from a young age, they're manipulating their father or their mother, generally their father, to get the things they want. And as soon as you catch them, and it's a great thing, as soon as you catch them trying to manipulate you the way they probably manipulated their father, either by putting on that little sad face or begging or getting angry, you'll find out how they actually got shit from their father when they were younger. And as soon as you see that behavior, you call out on them and say, I'm not your father. Maybe that worked with him, but we're going here. So don't, and that bullshit that she always does to manipulate other guys, when it doesn't work on you, it's clear that you stand out, especially if you're going for a woman of kind of high quality and who's approached a lot by men. And so this is kind of funny. I was on a radio with this guy called the Grease Man, and he says, he goes, here's the way I can convey strength. I'm not recommending you do this, but it's kind of funny. He goes, I wear a shoulder holster. And I'm sure that works. And a lot of times strength is in the eyes. It's in the way someone sort of looks at you. It's all those things about being needy and desperate and that sort of a lot of times I find it's sort of it's an energetic thing. Guys whose energy is sort of receded behind their eyes, their sort of energy's back stuck in their head because they're always thinking about how they come off. Those guys tend to appear weaker than a guy who's kind of charismatic and radiating energy and takes up space. We used to call it like the box. Like how big. This sounds like something on a bad T-shirt. How big is your box? But in general, when I'm walking around, it's like, what's your force field? What kind of space are you radiating? Because a strong guy has a lot of space. People don't want to get in that space because you're radiating something. And here's a little key, like a little thing you can actually go do, is I find that a lot of guys walk around and you're worrying about what other people think of you. You're thinking, what is everyone thinking of me? And you're kind of behind your eyes. You're trying to impress everyone. You're trying to please someone. And automatically it conveys weakness, neediness, desperation. What you can do is if you can actually realize that everybody else is walking around thinking the exact same thing, they're not judging you. They're worried about being judged by you. So even thinking that is a selfish thing to think because everyone's not walking around judging you. They don't care that much about you. They're just worried about being judged by you because they're worrying about themselves. And once you realize that you're the arbiter of other people's self-esteem, they're not all the arbiter of your self-esteem, once you realize that you can be the source of their validation rather than making them the source of your validation, once that switch flips, it'll take your game so far it's ridiculous. Does that make sense? Like everybody wants to be validated. So much of sexuality and so much of people even doing it is for validation. So if you can become the source of other people's validation and be confident in the fact that you are worthy and that you are valid, everything's going to change for you. Let's just get a couple more and then we'll move on. And by the way, lower everyone's ranking by at least 1 or 2 points. What'd you rate your friend? Yeah. Whenever someone says me, it's generally both of you at the same time. What'd you? Cool. He seemed a little bit indecisive, so you gave him a 7. He looked like he was trying to project strength for the exercise. Awesome. How do you project the strength? Let's see. Nice. Cool. That's good. I'm glad you tried. By the way, the secret, yeah, that's a whole other lesson. All right. What do you rate your friend? Yeah, with the glasses. Cool. I.e. 5. He said he rated him a 6 or a 5. That means it's a 5. And what thing can he do to improve it? Cool. I like that. I think that's a great thing. Like, find someone who you think conveys that confidence when they walk around and try to see the world through their eyes. I used to do that too when I was doing this. I would find, maybe I'd watch Pierce Brosnan in the Thomas Crown Affair or something, and I would try and walk around and like pretend, see the world through his eyes a little bit and see what it feels like to be in that frame, in that body. And you guys don't know how hard I like drilled everything into my head with this stuff. So the next thing is value. Value is so important. And the idea is, yes, okay, we can walk up, we can talk to anyone, but maybe they can meet any number of guys. There are any number of guys in their life. What's going to make them want to be with us? Every time I leave an interaction with a woman, I know if she's going to call me back or if she's going to call me, I know why she's going to call me. Sometimes I won't even take her phone number. I'll just let her have my phone number because I know she's going to call. Whenever a woman flakes on you, it means either you made her uncomfortable or there wasn't enough value. Value is the idea that she's met someone incredible. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and when you invite her out, she will actually cancel a plan to be with you, and that's kind of projecting value. Because anytime a girl says that she has something else to do, and it's kind of vague, unless it's like a real solid thing, like her father's birthday, or this is a real or she has tickets to a concert that night. Anything else, I know I didn't project enough value because I want to be the equivalent. Like if you had the option right now, we're in LA, and let's just say like Jay-Z, Anthony Robbins, and Angelina Jolie are having like a dinner party and they have a 4th seat. How many of you guys would like cancel your plane and change the trip to be there? I don't even have to have you guys raise hands because I know you guys would do that. You want to have that much value, and you can do that. So here's an exercise that I want you to do, and it's that Tao of Steve movie, being excellent. It's being interesting. There is a part of being entertaining. It's what Tyler Durden, a word that people always quote from the book, is what he calls chick crack. It's being able to, especially a lot of younger women, they want a guy they can learn something from. So teaching them something about themselves is really important. Another quote that is in the game is being an authority over her world. People want a guy, like we said, strength, someone they can look up to, someone they can learn from on their journey. And also being the leader of men. Letting her see that other guys look to you for approval and for validation and for support. And guys listen to you and respond to what you're doing. And this also includes external value. There are three categories of value. And a guy named Love Drop is the guy, I think, who told me this. There's 3 types of value. There's what you think your own value is. There's what she thinks your value is, and there's what everyone else in the room thinks your value is. You kind of want to up all that. Those are the kind of 3 categories of value. Because, if you think your value is super, super high, but she does and no one else in the room does, then you're just sort of self-deluded. So you want to make sure all those 3 things are amped. And here's something I want you guys to do, and you don't have to do it together. Make a list, and let's say 4. Make a list of 4 reasons why after you interact with a woman, she's going to want to call you back. In other words, if you just talk to a girl and you think, oh, I'm kind of cool and interesting, she probably liked me, she'll call me back, then you're not really conveying value if you don't know what your value is. So I want you to make a list of 4 points, 4 solid reasons why a woman would want to call you back after you meet her, after you exchange phone numbers. You're writing right there. So what are a couple things you said so I can help guys out? What'd you write? Yeah.
I just wrote that you got a good personality.
Good personality? Relate to. Okay, cool. Good personality, relate to each other, make her laugh. Cool. Do you write anything down right there?
I was writing the question.
You're writing the question down. Awesome. But tell me one thing. Why would someone want to call you back?
Presence.
Presence. What kind of presence?
Here now with her.
You have a presence in here now.
But I'm also present in the moment.
Cool. You kind of pull her into the moment. Okay, awesome. Let's see.